What's up, everyone? It is Ty interpreting weather here. We are back with another video, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a major nor'easter for the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So let's get right into it. All right. So, starting right now, we are taking a look at the GFS. So, we do have all this cold air in place getting ready to get down. We do have that Great Lakes snowstorm that we have been predicting for a little bit. Probably not. I haven't talked much about the system, but I know it's going to bring down a lot of cold air once it passes by. It does bring a little bit of rain to the northeast, actually, and some snow showers, and we all have this cold air in place. Now, what we have here is some Gulf moisture, and we also have a low pressure system bringing some snow to the Rockies. So, what do you think is going to happen? They both combine right here and start intensifying, and once it gets off the coast, it sort of becomes a nor'easter. Actually, they transfer its energy right here, combined with some Gulf moisture, bringing some actually freezing rain to Alabama. It does go up the coast, affect some parts of the mid Atlantic again from the last system. And we do have this nor'easter right here that actually does affect most of the Northeast. There is no rain and snow line here. But the thing is, the GFS takes it a little bit off the coast, actually. But it does strengthen a little bit in effect, and actually does affect Nova Scotia and Canada, and actually some light snowfall for Maine. But that sort of just stalls there and then exits out, and we are left with cold air. Now, here's the thing: if this does have a different scenario, though, so if this takes more of this type of track, it forms under the Ohio Valley. If it goes just out to sea, all we're seeing is just some snow for the mid Atlantic. But if it does go a little bit off here, like the GFS has right now, if it does go a little bit right here, we could get some snowfall. If it does go a little bit and hugs right near the coast right here, just hugs right the coast, um, we could get actually even more snowfall than anticipated, more along Long Island and also Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And it does actually curve up here into Maine and Canada. But finally, we have our last scenario. If this storm goes in mainland and doesn't go offshore, we could be looking at a rain and snow line right here. So, what am I talking about when I say the rain and snow line? Well, here it is. So, I'm going to mark it in blue right now. So, this is it right now. So, if it tracks like this, up here, you're seeing snow. But if you are down here, you could actually be seeing rain. Let me just mark it real quick. If you are down here, you are going to be seeing some rain or mixed wintry precipitation. So, if you want more snow, you want the storm to be south if you are near the coast, actually. So, that's basically it. But if it does take more of this track, no one gets snow except for the mid Atlantic. This track, pretty good amount of snowfall. Up here and hugs the coast, a lot of snowfall. You'd be talking about major accumulations. If this storm just goes inland and doesn't go out near the coast, we can be looking at not a very good snow event and more of a rain event. So get your hopes up high, because this is not set in stone yet. So it could be a lot of this is going to be a lot of uncertainty, but I'm sure that we are going to figure this out in the next couple of days, and then I'm going to come out with my official snow forecast. And yet again, the storm is going to come on Friday, so be prepared. I'm not saying that it will be major yet, but there is a possibility. But I'm actually going to switch things over now to the European model. All right, now everyone, this is the European model. So let's start things off right away. And we do have that low pressure system moving into the Great Lakes, bringing down a lot of cold air, which actually could bring a lot of snowfall, a pretty good widespread snowfall. We do have that system here, and also this cold front moving through with a little rain. And this is very similar to the GFS. It combines with some Gulf moisture, strengthens a little bit near the coast right here, and goes right up. And this one happens fast. This one goes in right away. And this one actually hugs the coast a little bit. It is the same as the GFS. It exits off Virginia and the Delmarva. But if you don't know what Delmarva is, it's right here near Delaware, where Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia share states. But the low pressure system does curve up more. The GFS just takes it up into Nova Scotia. This one curves it in, but also there's a lot of mixed precipitation here. And the European model doesn't really make it stick around for long, and it just makes it exit there very quickly. And we do have a lot of cold air. So the European model that ends pretty quickly. Let me just share the different tracks that we had for the GFS. I'm gonna mark it in red. The GFS takes it like this. It gets some Gulf moisture right here. It goes right up here. It definitely goes off the coast a little bit earlier, and it exits right off here near the border of Virginia and North Carolina, and just goes a little bit like this, and then it curves right into here. And the European model, we are going to mark in blue. So the European model does bring it up a little bit closer right here, but it does have the same general idea where it's going to exit, but except it's a little bit near the coast, but it curves up way earlier right into here and smashes right into Maine. So that's the comparison between these two tracks. So without a doubt, let's move on to actually our first time I'm ever going to use this, the Canadian model. So let's get right into it. All right, everyone, welcome to the Canadian model, and we do have the same setup as the European model. We do have that low pressure system right there, bringing some snow to the Great Lakes, but most likely the cold air in place to create the storm. And actually here, we actually do have some backside snow with this cold front. That moves in, we do get some freezing temperatures. Here we are on Thursday. We do have the storm strengthening very quickly, more than the GFS or European model, and it actually does affect a lot of the coastal areas too, and actually some of that moderate and heavy snow. And what's cool about the Canadian model is that it actually goes in between the GFS. The GFS goes out here and just right here and goes into here. The European model hugs the coast up into Maine. This actually curves in more than the GFS, but less than the European, and hits right in the middle between Maine and Nova Scotia. So it's pretty good agreement right here. It's gonna follow this cold air. It all depends on that Great Lakes snowstorm. It all depends on this right here. If this doesn't bring, if this brings the cold air slower, we could be looking at something that hugs the coast or even inland, which could become more major or very less significant near the coast. If this comes in later, this storm is just going to move off coast and we only end up with very little snowfall up here. So that's why I'm not making an official snowfall forecast yet, because it's too far to tell. We're more than 3 days away. We're about 3 days away. So I think probably Thursday I'll try and make an official snowfall forecast. Tomorrow I am only going to post a short because I don't have a lot of time tomorrow, but I'll still keep you updated on when the storm happens. I'll give you usually daily uploads, but that is the Canadian model right there. So I'm not saying this is a forecast yet, but now we are going to be looking at the total snowfall accumulations. All right, here we are with the total snowfall accumulations for this nor'easter. So, starting things off, we have the GFS, the one that is the least confident or least dramatic in snowfall totals. So you can take a look right here as I scroll around here. We do have a lot of snowfall for the southern Ohio Valley, also for the mid Atlantic, and also Tennessee. Tennessee could actually bring a lot of snowfall, have a lot of snowfall in the Appalachian Mountains or the high elevations, such as West Virginia. West Virginia also getting a lot of snowfall. In here, we do have a lot more. And also southern New England getting the most out of everyone, other than the north from a previous snowstorm. But we do have a lot more in the south, especially here in Massachusetts. I believe it's called New Bedford, Massachusetts. And then also, there's also Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. They're probably not going to get anything, mostly just rain and mixing. But the Delmarva getting a fair amount. Washington, D.C. getting an inch or two. Also, New York City getting in on its first over an inch snowfall. And also, surprisingly, Alabama, Mississippi, and parts of Georgia again getting a lot of snow. Well, not a lot, but like a lot for their area, because you don't usually see a lot of snowfall in Mississippi, Alabama, or Georgia. It's quite rare, but it's happening again. We do have the Arctic blast in here, and I'm going to switch over to the European model right now. Give it a second to load. Oh, here we go. So the European model is definitely more. It definitely has more snowfall. It definitely says this is going to be a more intense system, especially for Tennessee. Look at Tennessee. The high elevations getting in a lot of snowfall. Pretty decent amount also in the west. Kentucky also a pretty decent amount in the east. West Virginia getting in on a lot of snowfall in the Appalachian Mountains. So as Virginia. Southeast Virginia not getting a lot, but the Delmarva getting a quite fair amount. Here we do have a little bit of a gap right here. I'm not sure why it's there, but that it's just there. But also look at here, eastern New England on the coast. On the coast in the European model, due to its stall right here near the coast, we're gonna see some intense snowfall here. Pretty good amounts right here. That's gonna have more of a snowfall accumulation, a way faster one due to the heavy snow near the coast. If it does stay more off coast, then we're not gonna get in on that heavy snow. But if it hugs the coast, we could be seeing a lot of more heavy snowfall. Probably snowfall rates of half an inch to an inch per hour, probably. But now I'm going to switch over to the Canadian model, which it's gonna load in a second, and here we go. So we do have the Canadian model right here. We do have the Delmarva getting in on a lot of snowfall. Washington, D.C. just outside getting a lot of snowfall. It's definitely more intense for the mid-Atlantic because it does go a little bit offshore. The coast, however, not getting a lot of snow, even this pocket of 2 inches probably. But I don't think the Canadian model is showing the snowfall up here as it would though, because the snowfall up here should be a little bit more than what the radar said or the future precipitation would be. But I do believe you might have a good chance of getting more than 3 inches if you're up here. Definitely near the coast, unless if it doesn't go inland. But other again, the Appalachian Mountains, high elevations getting in on a lot of snowfall. Eastern Kentucky, western Tennessee getting a decent amount of snowfall. Also southeastern Virginia again not getting a lot, but we do have more snowfall for southern New Jersey, the Delmarva, and near Washington D.C. surprisingly. Long Island not going to get as much as the other model said, but that is going to do it for today's video. But before we do end today's video, I am going to show you the weather fact of the day. All right, everyone. This is the weather fact of the day. Now, I'm crossing this off because we did that last time. This was last video, but here's our new one. A little water can add up to a lot of snow. This is actually a very true fact. The air doesn't need to be super moist to produce impressive amounts of snow. Unlike plain rainfall, a bank of fluffy snow contains lots of air that adds to its bulk. That's why what would have been an inch of rain in the summer equals about 10 inches of snow in the colder months. I actually knew this. 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. Now, if you want an inch of snow, you actually only need zero point 0.1 inches of rain, which is actually surprising because that's a lot of snow because of rain. Because usually you think of ice cubes, like when you freeze water, it's ice cubes, but actually in the air, snowfalls are formed differently. They're formed in different stages. First, they usually start in a ice cylinder, and then they start adding flakes or more of those impressive designs, you would call them. So that is going to be today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on post notifications when a new video drops so you can get the best of your weather related content. This is Ty interpreting weather out.